Welcome to the shit show that is the
Oh
Chicago
God.
Bears. This is week 3, podcast 46. I'm Andy P. Finally back on the show is Jakey V. I gotta say, not really the best time to come back, Jake. Not it's not been great for the Bears, needless to say.
No. I wish I could have stayed in New Zealand, but I had a 30-day visa, so had to come back. Unfortunately, DJ Moore just made a big catch. It means nothing, but that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, just
Nice.
uh just to specify, we are recording this with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So the score is currently 41-3. The Bears are driving down the field, and DJ Moore has made possibly his first catch of the day. I don't think he dropped a fucking
Two
bomb earlier.
receptions. Yeah,
Two
he did
receptions.
drop a dime.
Yeah, he dropped a 40-yard dime in the first half, or near the end of the
All
first half, I
right.
believe. So yeah, we got about 5 minutes left, but Jake and I decided, it's been long enough. We haven't done a show together in 2-3 weeks. Since before the season started. Jake has
Yeah.
been basically in New Zealand. Jake, before we get into the shit show that has been the Chicago Bears today and the previous 3 weeks of the season, how was New Zealand? You gotta fill me in on that,
Oh, it
dude.
was it was fucking sweet. Definitely would go back, will go back. Uh Way more beautiful than anywhere in America. You can bookmark it. I don't care. I don't need to go to every place in America. I guarantee you, fucking standing in a public transit line in New Zealand, it's a better experience than being anywhere in America, especially when you're a Bears fan. So because they don't really get much coverage out there. Go All
Mhm,
Blacks. That's their national rugby team. They're pretty
mhm.
good. Um, oh, Justin Fields just threw a touchdown to DJ Moore. Yay.
Oh wow, is he
Sweet.
hurt?
Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, it looks like it.
Oh
So
nice.
that's
Oh
good.
cool. Yeah.
Nice. He's hurt, so that's good.
He's walking off. He's fine.
20 left on the scoreboard. Sick. Woo. Touchdown. Yeah. I
I
if you
think I
can
have him.
I've started drinking.
Yeah, full on. Jake and I
Good
started drinking.
disclosure.
What is your drink of choice right now? I think you said lemonade and
I'm drinking
vodka.
a vodka and Sprite at the moment.
Right. Okay. I have apple cider, which it's like this like sparkling apple cider, and then vodka. So we are both. I don't
Under
think
the
we'll get to
influence.
be 3 sheets to the wind, but we're both trying to
No.
drown our pain out, because this team fucking sucks. Before we get
They're
into
really
that though, I
bad.
did want to ask one question about your trip because you were worried about the 17-hour flight. How did that go?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It still wasn't like comfortable in any way. You're like smashed up against the wall and it's horrible if you're tall, but like
Hmm.
they give you two meals, which is kind of fun because you don't
Hmm.
really get meals on flights anymore.
No.
So that was a kind of decent experience. I had some chicken breast one time. It's decent. It's made with saffron. Ooh, exciting. I think I had some French toast at one
Oh, nice.
point.
That sounds
What
pleasant.
was the other thing I had? There was lamb. I know
Oh, wow.
it's a big deal in New Zealand is lamb. I had that at the wedding I was at, so I didn't
Mm.
have it on the plane. But yeah, the flight wasn't as bad as I thought it was. They had TV screens with movies and stuff you could watch,
Oh, cool.
so that was pretty cool. I watched what was it? Across the Stairs, I think, one of the times. So flight was decent.
Hmm.
New Zealand's beautiful. If you could get a chance, definitely go. I would live there. It's really cool.
How did you end up
And
watching?
at the moment, I really don't want to be here. It's just sad. This is
Watching the
bad. I did
Bears?
not want to come back, but I had to. I'm like, I
Hmm.
could just stay here,
So
but no.
you were in New Zealand for the first two games, or coming back from New Zealand, you're away.
Yes,
How did
I
you end
was
up
still
watching the
there
first game?
the first game. Uh, I had my means.
Hmm.
Some Reddit. But the second game, I didn't even bother to get up and watch. I'm like, they're gonna lose. It's 5 o'clock. Is when 5 a.m. is when that
Hmm.
game was on Monday, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get up and watch this. So I'll just wake up when I wake up and see that they lose, and they did. So that was
Hmm.
good. I left going to New Zealand with so much optimism, like I was telling Andy, and I come back and my defensive coordinator is a pedophile. Allegedly. Don't want to be sued. But
yeah, allegedly, we have.
or either that or he was filming people like beating off in the locker room or some shit. He was
Yeah.
doing something not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Yeah. So I I was going to ask kind of your thoughts on the first two games, but I feel like that's been pretty. You've
They
already kind
sucked.
of
Yeah.
said that they've
They
really.
crushed my will
Yeah.
immediately. I was wrong on every prediction I've had about
Mm-hmm.
everything except for maybe my Christian McCaffrey and TJ Watt picks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. It's really good. Good start for me. If anyone is listening, whatever I say, do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be on pretty good.
Probably actually make
Right.
a profit if you ever listen to us, and bet on what we say. I did end up.
What an idiot you'd have to
Yeah,
be to do
no,
that. To take us
yeah.
into consideration. You're a fool.
Yeah, I'm recording in my parents' bedroom, and you're gonna listen to me on betting advice.
Yeah,
Not my
don't do
parents'
that.
bedroom, my parents' house. But I did. We'll get to this later, but I did add up all of our. So the guests that I had on for you, I'm gonna kind of just put them into your your rankings, which is it actually works out for you because the guest we had on last week had the best week that any of us have had for
Really?
picking winners. Yeah, dude, I went 0-5 this week already.
Nice.
So
That's good. That's really good.
yeah, it's been a fucking shit show of a season. My fucking fantasy teams are both gonna lose today. Like it's not
I
not
haven't
going
looked at
well.
mine at all, but I know I have Tyreek Hill, so
Yeah,
I'm feeling good
you're
about
probably good.
that. But everything else, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. I think you beat the Jake that I had on last week, my friend Jake from
Did I?
school. I think you beat him week 1. So I know you at least
And
have
I
one
have
week.
not looked at that at all. So if you're
Yeah.
losing to me, that's not great. I didn't. I had an auto draft. I auto drafted, and I have not made a single alteration. I don't know if any of the players I'm starting are injured. They might well be, but I have not made any changes.
Yeah, I the only change I've really made in my starting lineup, and this is a different league from the one that you and I are in. This is my work league. I have shifted around Justin Herbert and Tua. Those are my two quarterbacks.
Oh, you got Tua.
And
Nice. Yeah.
I started Tua last week, and he did not perform that well. So I had Herbert start week 1. He was about 20-25, but I think Tua had 30 or 35 at least. So then I switched it for week 2. So Tua started last week and Herbert had like 25 and I think Tua had 13. And then this week I switched it back to Herbert and they both had 29 points. Tua I think ended up with 31 and Herbert had 29. So it was kind of a wash this week. So, but you can't play two quarterbacks at once. So I think I'm going to roll with Tua the
No.
rest of the season. Even
Yeah,
though
for as
Herbert,
long as he goes until he gets injured,
yeah,
But
well, because Herbert did have a really nice game today, so it didn't end up hurting that much. But Tua just
yeah.
has so much more.
God, the fucking Vikings are so bad as well.
Yeah, dude,
Jeez,
we're
that was.
somehow not the absolute worst team in
Oh,
the
we're worse
division.
than them. It's just
Yeah,
they
but it's
find more painful ways to lose
yeah,
because they were at least in the game. We
yeah,
just were blown out from the minute this game started.
yeah. This has been a travesty. So let's get into it because the game is almost mercifully over. I have
Yeah.
not. We scored that touchdown, so now it is 41-10 with about 2 minutes left. We're
Woo!
at the 2-minute warning, and the Chiefs have the ball. I think we still have 2 timeouts, but holy fuck, has this game just been awful. So just to kind of summarize the game, or just kind of not even summarize the game, because we're going to be talking about it at different parts, I'm sure. But it did start out not horrible. It was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, but
Yeah.
the second quarter, the Chiefs decided to go fucking world destroyer on us. And they scored
Nuclear. Yeah.
27 fucking points in one quarter.
It's
One fucking quarter.
pretty bad.
Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
who, by the way, a lot of people will remind you that we could have drafted him in 2017. We would have fucked him up, but we could have drafted him. It was 24 of 33, 272 with 3 touchdowns. He hasn't even played most of the second half. It was 31-0, I think,
Yeah.
or 34-0 at the half. What a fucking shit show. You and I both thought, and I'm gonna get a little bit annoyed with this fucking team. I'm gonna yell a little bit, but you and I both fucking thought that this team would be improved. We were with each other when they made all the moves in the offseason. We were fucking excited. We were excited in the early episodes of this podcast when we were reviewing their moves and we were talking about who's going to win divisions and all that shit. We thought this team was going to be fucking better, and they are somehow 10 times fucking worse. I don't know how it could get worse. I don't know how you can go to to take a Moneyball quote, there's 50 feet of shit and then there's us, but somehow there's 50 feet of shit and then even more shit and then the fucking Bears. How does that fucking
Yeah.
happen in 2023? How does your team go from, not even 2023, but how does your team go from 3-14 and the number one overall pick the year before to being once again the worst team in football? You've made a lateral movement because the lateral movement is just staying the same, and staying the same is the worst team in football, Jake.
Yeah. Can't really say it better myself. They killed my will and any enthusiasm I had for this team after week 1. So it's like I can't even get myself worked up anymore. I don't care. I've moved on to watching UFC already. I was hyped over Sean Strickland beating the shit out of Israel Adesanya. That was cool. I was in New Zealand for that, so that was a big event. They were sad. I got to have that moment. Whoa. But yeah, the Bears, they're just fucking horrible. It's hard for me to even watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And watch football in turn. They've killed my love for the game. Once again, the Chicago Bears have killed my love for the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to just watch rugby instead. Just full on commit to being a New Zealander or a Kiwi.
Yeah, you always read those stories. At least I do because I patrol the Reddit, and I still read Why Your Team Sucks, which I've told you about. It's this big team preview that Drew McGarry does. He used to do it for Deadspin and then wrote it for Defector now. And I've written in twice and I've made it. So if you ever see Andrew in if you go back to the 2018 and the 2020 previews, Andrew is me. So I talk about my dad in those, which I've told you about. Yeah. So I've made these pretty big team preview columns, but I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, okay, I do remember. There's people who are in there, and the NFL obviously does the international games, and well, they go to Britain. I don't really know how international that is, but they go to Britain and they play games. And the Bears have been over there a handful of times in the last 10 or 15 years that they've been doing it. And there's always all these British fans who they're like, yeah, I fell in love with the game when the Bears came over here and I picked them as my team. And now I think about the days that I didn't get up at 5 a.m. or whatever the time is to watch this team suck every year. So I think about with you how funny it would be if you just became a rugby fan. You go over news.
I really might. I'll just go All Blacks. They generally win. They did lose to France at this point, so all the Kiwis I talked to are very upset about that. But then promptly the next week, I watched them beat Namibia like 71 to 3 or something with their backups in, and that was a good feeling. I'm like, okay, I can root for this team. I don't really understand the rules. People are just barreling into each other. It's pretty sick.
So I think I don't know what happened. I think this game might have just ended. The Bears game
ended. I saw it end.
Okay, because I was like, Google
Andy Reid
says,
just passed Tom Landry for fourth most career wins.
I did see that was possible today. So the Bears do lose 41-10. I think we should go back because
closer than I thought.
Yeah, somehow close. I mean, the line going into it today was the biggest line of the season, where the Bears were expected to, or they were the 12.5-point underdogs, which I think was the biggest line of the season. Which I think the Cowboys actually might have.
Bro, Cardinals are winning. They're beating the fucking Cowboys 28-16. They have the ball with 47 seconds left, time ticking off. They have won this fucking game.
Yep.
With Josh goddamn Dobbs as their quarterback.
Yep. So I mean
that fucking Dallas defense.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So
the fuck, man.
I honestly wish I had bet money. I don't bet, but I wish I had bet money on the Bears being the last team to get a win, because I think that's going to be.
Oh, they might be that team.
Although they play
fucking bad.
They play the Broncos next week, which is just going to be two galaxy-brained offenses going against each other.
The Broncos are going to beat our ass, dude.
I don't know. I mean, it's basically the same.
Have they won a game yet? Broncos have won a game, right?
No.
I mean, I know they got their asses beat 70-20 today.
No, so I think they had leads in both of the last games, and they blew them. They blew a huge lead to the Commanders last week. So they are just as bad as we are, if not somehow even worse, because they're paying Russell Wilson $245 million. So I think we should, with that said, I think we should go back and kind of start talking about, because you've already alluded to it, how the week started, specifically Tuesday, I believe. So Tuesday starts off, right? And Justin Fields immediately just tells the media that his coaches suck, which is not
which is
wrong.
apparent. Yeah.
Yeah. So that started a whole hullabaloo, right? With the media and just, was he shit talking his coaches? Was he putting blame on the coaches, not putting blame on himself? Yeah, no, he was doing that. He was putting blame on the coaches because the coaches absolutely are fucking terrible. Luke Getsy could not script an offense for his fucking life, right? You know,
Yeah.
and then the best part, one of
Infinite
the
screens.
yeah, just screens to guys you've never heard of. Not even a DJ Moore who could
I
take.
know. Why will we not throw a single screen to DJ Moore? Why will they not do that? I don't think they've done it one time
No,
in the
I.
season. I truly don't think they've done it one fucking time.
It's all guys who don't have that yak quality,
We're gonna
right?
throw another goddamn screen to Khalil Herbert, who stinks.
Khalil Herbert fucking. Khalil
I
Herbert.
can't stand him.
I said this last week. He is the Jeremy Langford of our times.
Yes, he is.
He's this guy who had a nice couple games last year, who
Yeah.
people fell in love with. He's supposed to replace our longtime running back, who not our long
Demo.
time, but somebody who had been there longer. Yeah, Demo. And we have a fucking better running back, or at least somebody that I'm more interested in watching play in Roshan
Roshan is much
Johnson.
better.
So, Jake, I mean, do you think it was fair? I guess we should just, try and dial back a little bit and be analysts,
Analysts.
analysts. Do you think it was fair for Justin to say what he said about the coaches? Do you think it's on the coaches? Because we haven't done a podcast in 2 weeks. Do you think this season is on Justin Fields, or do you think it's on the coaches? And do you think, and here's another question too, you can answer these bit by bit. Do you think Justin Fields is still the guy?
Well, I think it's more on the coaches than it is on Fields. Like, I can't say Fields shares like no blame in this, but like the scheme has just been horrid. The entire team has been undisciplined. Like, they haven't really protected him that well. And like, he has had a better pocket at times than last year, but it's all just so bad. And as for whether, he's the guy or not, I still think he's a tremendously talented quarterback, and I think if he goes somewhere else, he'll have success. But I think the Bears just exist to destroy quarterbacks. So whether it's him or some other guy, there is no guy. The Bears exist to murder guys. As bears do in the wild. They eat men. They eat quarterbacks in Chicago. It's horrible.
I think truly not going with a guy like Brian Daboll, even though the Giants are not off to a great start this year.
They're
I think
bad.
I think not going with a guy who at least had some sort of pedigree of getting a flawed quarterback to improve. I think not going with a guy like Dayball, or it's a year later, but we could have had Steichen, who I think is a pretty good coach, right? Somebody like that. So I
Yeah.
don't think Steichen was available last year, but not going with an offensive minded guy, I think, really has hurt Justin Fields. And I think, hiring the double agent that is Luke Getsy to be his
Yeah, what
OC.
is this? Oh my
Here's the
god.
thing, dude.
He's so bad.
Hiring anybody who is the quarterback coach for an all-timer like Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Mahomes, anytime you hire a guy who is just a quarterback's coach, I just cringe, because those guys are the guys who need quarterbacks coaches the least. So why are you hiring them in any sort of promotional capacity, whether it's head coach or OC? Why are you doing that?
I don't know, man. Just screens on screens on screens.
Fucking horrible.
There is no hope.
It's
There
just going
is no
on.
hope.
Dude, the fact that we called the same fucking play 3 times in a row against the Buccaneers, what was funny too is I heard Olsen say that the Chiefs were calling the same play over and over again, and Matt Nagy was doing that out of spite. We haven't even talked about him.
Oh,
Matt
of course
Nagy was
it
a
was.
fucking OC today. I
Yeah,
saw a
that's so
shot of
funny.
him. They had like some commercial for Verizon where they were talking about how Verizon provides the headsets or some bullshit, and they have a shot of him talking with Mahomes. I fucking laughed. I almost
Yeah,
laughed my head off because I was like, oh fuck, Matt Nagy still. I forgot about
there's the Reaper, Matt Nagy,
him. Yeah.
exists to
We
torment
always
us.
we always think it's the fucking coach, and yeah, I think it is a lot of the time, but it's also
It
just the
is and it
fucking
isn't.
Bears. Yeah.
It's the Bears.
It's just the Bears' whole thing. So the other thing I want to talk about this week, the other thing is really Braxton Jones went on the IR, who was one of the best rookie tackles last year, rookie offensive lineman last year, on the IR, and they were thinking about moving Darnell. Fucking Taylor Swift is on my screen again. I don't
I
fucking
know.
care anymore. I love her. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love her.
Oh
You know that.
God.
You know they do. I fucking saw her in
Of
Chicago
course
at
you
Soldier
do.
Field.
Soft
So
boy
this just
Andy
fucking
loves some Taylor
hurts.
Swift.
I fucking don't care anymore. They're fucking two rich people in Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They're both attractive. They're fucking 33 years old. Fucking marry each other for all I care. Um, so they were thinking about moving Darnell Wright, who's been pretty solid for the team so far, our first round
Yeah.
pick.
So
They
it's
were
time to ruin his career in some way. Yeah,
mhm.
you know.
They
Let's
moved they
ruin everyone.
mhm. Let's just force all these players into doing things that they are not built for. Let's make Justin Fields only a pocket passer. Let's make Darnell Wright our left tackle. Like, who are these galaxy brain coaches who think they have the fucking capacity and skill to do this shit that they're trying? I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, dude, I have no words. There's nothing to say about this team.
I know.
They've murdered me once again,
Yeah, it's
as they
it
continue to do.
it's et tu Brute, but it's just constant. It's just every fucking season. It's every
Yeah.
fall. It's week 3 and the season's over. We were 2-1
It was
last
over
year.
after week 1. It was
Hmm.
over.
Hmm.
And at least there was
Now
some
it's mega
drama
over.
this week to laugh at. But oh
Yeah,
my God, they are dead.
yeah.
This
And
team
then
is dead.
I mean, the whole thing with Alan Williams, there's a lot of rumors going on, and you've already
Yeah.
made some jokes, some
Not
alleged,
great stuff.
yeah,
Alleged.
yeah, alleged jokes that you made and I'd made.
Alle-
So,
Allegedly, it was a joke.
so here's the thing, and I was going to tell you about this. We were talking about this at work because some kid was like convinced that the health thing is real, and I go, why do you need a fucking lawyer?
Why?
Why do you need a lawyer for a health issue? Like, with all the rumors that are going around.
Why haven't a single player or staff member said a single positive thing about him in his time since leaving?
Yeah,
You can't get him to say anything about the guy.
dude,
And
they.
then the report came out that it was the HR was involved.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I bet more than HR was involved as well. I bet the FBI kicked his fucking door in and dragged him the fuck out of his house.
Yeah,
With zip ties around his wrists.
yeah, that's the best part is hearing that House Hall got rated. That I think that
Well,
image
and
is so
every time they said
funny.
about it, there's like Hallis Hall was not rated. They've said nothing about his fucking house. They won't talk about his house at all.
Dude, his house
But
just
they
has to
always go,
be.
Hallis Hall has not been rated. Hallis Hall is not rated.
It's
Okay.
got to be the creepy guy's house from Prisoners. Have you seen Prisoners, the Hugh Jackman movie? It's
I
so
want to see
good.
it. Isn't Jake Gyllenhaal in it as well?
Yeah, it's so good.
He's
They
like a cop or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cop. He goes to this guy's house and he just finds guns and there's boxes full of snakes. So I just
Jesus.
imagine Alan Williams' house apparently is just
That
some sort of version of that, whether it's whatever he's being accused of, just full of binders of
some
that, or
torture chamber in the
it's
basement.
just the worst defensive calls you've ever fucking seen. Somehow that's worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently the team wasn't even informed throughout most of the
They
week.
didn't even know.
So and
It's crazy.
that of course has led to Eberflus calling the defense the last 2 weeks, which
Which they
calling
look
it
not much better at all. If you can even say that. Like
a defense is kind of a stretch.
they're so bad. It's crazy how bad they are. I thought
Mhm.
they'd at least be somewhat mid. They're not.
I was hoping that they would be competitive and entertain. I think you'd agree. Last year was probably one of the more entertaining seasons the Bears have had in our lifetimes because
Yeah,
they were fun to watch. It was fun to watch Justin
they were
Fields
fun.
run every week, and
Yeah.
every now and then he would have a nice deep pass to somebody like Cole Kmet or Mooney or somebody like that. Now it's just it's a
They
mess,
don't even
and
do that.
I don't see how things can get better this year.
No, it seems like everyone has already given up. Chase Claypool is horrible. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was possible he could be this bad. I never thought he would be like a superstar or anything, but I thought he'd be, serviceable player. He's not. He stinks.
Mm-hmm.
He's really bad, really bad. Even DJ Moore, like he's starting to stink. Just because he's on this team, he's starting to stink.
Yeah, the Bears were just a mistake in general. You know, their history, their creation back in 1919
Their
or
creation was a
whatever,
mistake.
you
It was a
know.
grave error.
It's
You
so
popularized the
insane.
sport of football.
It's so insane because I don't know if I talked about this on here last week, but I have been reading this book called The League, which I think I told you about at some point,
Yeah, you
which is
mentioned it.
this early history of the NFL. So it's the owner of it's like four guys basically who the book revolves around. It's Rooney of the Steelers, it's Hallis, it's George Preston Marshall who owned the Washington football team, and then it's the Maras, right?
Yeah,
So it's four guys who a lot of their names for the most part, except for Marshall's, are still, you know, talked about
associated with their teams. Yeah,
still, yeah, still somewhat associated. I mean, those teams have never changed ownership. Yes, Virginia is a McCaskey, but she's Hallis's daughter, right?
yeah.
She just married another guy. um it's insane because Hallis was so pivotal to the history of the league. He was, one of the most important figures in the, I mean, it's not a hot take,
He
he's just
is.
too
I mean,
important.
he created the NFL basically.
Yeah.
He's the only reason the Packers still exist.
Hmm.
He literally paid their debts at one
Hmm.
point. They were going to fold.
Yeah, and you want to
He
say
quite
that
literally
fucking
owned
Jordan
the
Love's owned
Packers.
us.
He
Yeah.
bought them. He owned the fucking team essentially,
Yeah.
so they could continue to kick our ass. That's
Hmm.
so funny.
Yeah, and it's just funny because the Bears were it was a lot less teams, right? And the game was different, but they were perennially in the league championships. You know, it wasn't the Super Bowl then, but they were in the league
Yeah.
championships, and
They have
we
the
don't even
second
have,
most championships
yeah,
behind the Packers.
yeah, and we're not even fucking close to sniffing anything ever.
Yeah.
The team has not been relevant since 1985. I mean, I know you and I talked before the show. You know, we talked about the 2006 team that went to the Super Bowl, but that was a fucking, a fluke, right?
Pretty
The next
much,
year they went
yeah.
7-9, and you know, haven't even really advanced outside of
And then
the NFC Championship
NFC
game
Championship game in
in
2010.
2010, which I watched
Yeah,
a clip
been
of the other
over a
day and almost
decade.
cried. Yeah, it's been
It's
13 years. They just
yeah,
are a fucking team that doesn't matter, and yet you and I will still watch them and be fans of them for the rest of our fucking lives because
yeah,
that's how fucking sports fandom works. That's how
yeah. I'm
living in
going into a bit of a
Chicago.
hibernation though.
Oh yeah, and that's
I have
fine.
just I've turned my brain off. Like I'll still cover them because
Hmm.
I have to now.
Hmm.
But
I know.
I
We
don't
can,
watch them with any investment anymore. Like fuck
yeah.
them.
I
Fuck
mean,
you. You're not
this
worth getting upset over.
no,
You're just
it's,
not.
I think in that column I was talking about, the why our team sucks. There's I know for a fact that there's multiple stories of people dying of strokes that the Bears caused them. If another Conti like situation happens, in a pivotal game, not that we have any pivotal games left this season,
They don't
but if
ever happen.
if another situation like that ever happens again, you and I will both have a collective stroke and pass away.
We'll die. We
So
will die on the same day. We'll have
yeah,
gravestones right next to each
we'll
other.
just have one coffin. Save the money. Save the money.
So
Get one
yeah, might as
coffin.
well just chop us up, dice us into a nice fine mist, and
Here lies
pour us into a
podcast.
fucking coffin.
Here lies podcast 46. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get into the game. I don't really know what there is to say. It
What
was
is there even to cover? We got
awful.
smoked immediately and
Hmm.
constantly throughout the game.
Our defense is made of fucking Teflon. This whole hit shit is such bullshit. I don't even know
They
what it
suck. They're
amounts
really
to.
bad. They're a horrible defense.
Our play calling is awful. Our quarterback is probably, has been
He's
awful.
regressed.
He's regressed completely. The Bears have failed him.
They
Um,
ruined him.
I think he had
That's
40
good.
yards of passing today.
Well, at the end, he had some stat padding because of that touchdown, so he got
Yeah, so
closer to
he had
100.
99
I don't know. I
yards.
don't know. Yeah, he didn't even break 100.
No.
Not good.
Yeah. So I I saw the Jay Glazer report today of if the Bears are undecided if they'll commit to him. I don't fucking care anymore. Dude, fucking
Who gives a
have
shit?
fucking Virginia play quarterback for all I fucking care, dude, at this point.
Let him go. Let him go to the Patriots and
Yeah.
succeed.
Let him go to a team that will
Please.
fucking build an offense around him.
I'll go be a fan of that goddamn team because I
Yeah.
can't stand them. They're
No,
so fucking bad.
I love Justin Fields. I think he's a great person.
I
I
do
think
too.
he seems like a great teammate. He's a great guy. He fucking takes blame for a lot of stuff, right? This week was really the first time that he said anything sort of controversially about anybody on the team. The
Yeah.
Bears have failed him. This is a fucking
Yeah.
mess. They have screwed up his throwing mechanics. I don't know if you've noticed, but his
They did. They
mechanics are
fucked it up.
completely
Yeah.
different. It's the Michael Kidd Gilchrist thing, which I know you're not a big NBA guy, but Michael Kidd Gilchrist had a screwy shooting motion when he was in college, but he was the number 2 overall pick behind Anthony Davis in 2012. The Hornets at the time, or no, they were the Bobcats. Now they're the Hornets. They decided to fuck with his shooting mechanics. This is somebody who got to be where he was at based off of his skill, and they decided, hey, that stuff that you were really good at? Well, you're actually not that good at it. We're going to fuck with you and we're going to fucking ruin you. And it was the same thing that happened to the 2017 first overall pick, who was on the Sixers, who I can't remember his name now, but it was a Markelle Fultz, where they got into his head about his shooting mechanics, and the guy couldn't shoot for like 5 years before he went to the Orlando Magic. The Orlando fucking Magic fixed him, right? So this means if Fields follows this trajectory, he's going to go to a team like the fucking Commanders or something, and they're going to fix him.
Yeah, he'll go be Commanders QB.
So they failed him. Getsy's a double agent. Flus is a horrible DC. Everybody's given up. You and I were talking about the guys on the sideline, or the fans on the sideline, who were telling Getsy and Flus essentially to go fuck themselves, which is pretty cool.
That's fun. Yeah. Can't say they don't deserve it.
No, this has been one of the worst starts I can remember of any Chicago team I've ever rooted for. And I'm a White Sox fan.
Yeah, that's hard, man. It's hard to be worse than the White Sox. The Bears are. The Bears are worse than the White Sox.
Oh, they're worse, dude. Because they made a big deal about their offseason changes.
Oh, yeah. They were talking so much shit.
They were talking so much shit. Justin Fields was ready to come in, be an MVP candidate. The defense was going to be way better. The White Sox, for their part, did say they were going to be better, but they didn't really do enough to really, have anything to stand by that. They added 1 or 2 guys in the offseason. The Bears spent a lot of money, and they added a lot of talent, and they were talking a lot of shit.
Yeah. And it's coming to roost. It's not good. It's over. It's over. It's week 3. It's over. It's been over since week 1.
Fold the franchise. Yeah.
It's over.
It sucks because, I remember Jason Goff talking about this a few years ago on his podcast, The Folgo, which is, I think he still does. Growing up being a Bears fan, right? It's all kind of about, hoping your team doesn't embarrass you completely in their game and then watching real football later.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's what they are. That's what they've always been.
Mm-hmm.
They're an embarrassment. It's not even it's an awful pun. I can't even stand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
It's so fucking lame.
Mm-hmm. It is just really hard. It's hard to be a Chicago fan right now. In general, I think the Cubs have been slipping relatively recently too. They were in the driver's seat for the
they'll get good enough to just rip their fans' hearts out. It's great.
Oh yeah. We need a hero. I don't know who it's going to be or if it ever will happen, but it just sucks.
It might be the Blackhawks again.
The
Blackhawks again.
Bedard should be the saving grace of this city. But somehow the Blackhawks will fuck them up. There's just the Chicago, and it's one of those things where I don't think we can really complain too much because there's cities like Cleveland that exist. Even though they won a championship a few years ago, the same year that we last won a championship, actually, too. Unless you count the Sky, which
our championship was against them as well.
Yeah.
It was against the fucking Indians.
Yeah,
who are now the Guardians.
The Cavs won the championship that year.
I know, but I'm saying the Cubs played
the Indians.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
They had a good year in baseball as well.
So, I mean, our teams have just been the best part too is our teams have just been systematically stripped away. All of our stars, all of our favorite players have just been kind of, thrown to the side. And in some cases it makes sense. In some cases it just fucking hurts. And it hurts that we just don't have anybody to real. The Cubs are a game up on the Marlins, but they are the third wild card, and there just doesn't really seem to be a path for them to really extend their stay in the playoffs, especially since they're 4-6 in their last 10. They've been really cold. So the Bears, for you and I are big football fans, and I know like the Bears are our number one team, basically. The White Sox are tied for number one for me, but they've been so cold to me the last few years that I was really looking forward to the Bears just being my main focus of attention for the fall and the winter, right?
Yeah,
it's
no longer viable.
No, there's only so many ways you can say that this sucks, but it sucks, and this is just a really horrible. I think of just my grandpa, my grandpa who's a big Bears fan, and just he's rolling over wherever he's at. He's rolling over.
Oh yeah, my grandfather, who is dead, is glad he's dead. He does not want to watch this fucking team play football.
No, this team that is allergic. I think last year there was a quote or somebody wrote something about how they're allergic to the forward pass.
Yeah, they are.
That's still true. It's still true. We don't have a 4,000-yard passer. We're not going to have one this year.
It's not going to happen. No.
Justin Fields couldn't even throw for over 100. He had a Joe Burrow first 2 weeks style stat line. It
was bad.
And he's not Joe Burrow. So I don't really know what else to say except that this team fucking sucks and we're stuck. We're just stuck where we're at. The only saving grace really is I don't think Poles is terrible. I don't think he's good, but at the same time, who else is there? It's one of those things. It's like it's like when you're stuck in a relationship that, you're in a toxic relationship with a partner and you're just like, well, there's really nothing else. It can't get better than this. It can get better, but we're just stuck in being like, well, maybe Poles is doing some good things. Maybe he's not the worst.
Just put me up on a cross and just nail me to a fucking cross.
Take me as
for
your
my
sacrifice.
goddamn sins. I can't do this anymore.
Do you ever listen to the radio broadcasts ever? I know you're in Tampa, but do you ever listen to the radio? Like, do you ever put on like ESPN? So
no, but it's hilarious just listening to fat Bears fans with their hideous accents. Dude, is always not fun.
The Tyson Bagent, whatever
those
calls
idiots
are grown. Like, you got to see
these
Justin
people
Fields
are morons. Play. Like, have you not seen this happen before?
Mm-hmm.
It's Groundhog's Day for the.
No,
assholes.
this was the same thing when people were like,
Bagent. We might have 2 good games, maybe. Yeah. And then he's going to be murdered and it'll be awful.
Well, this reminds me of when everybody was especially when Cutler got hurt in the championship game.
Yeah, Josh McCown. We have fucking.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Caleb Haney too.
Guys. Caleb Haney.
Yeah. All these guys
who was the other fucking guy? Jesus.
Jason Campbell.
Like, they had Brian Greasy.
Which Brian Greasy, I think, had the first back-to-back 300-yard games in the
Todd Collins
of the Bears.
Really?
Todd Collins.
So funny. Oh my God, there's so many bad ones.
Oh my God, did we have McNown too? Not McCown, like a McNown, like Cade McNown. That guy was. He was apparently
the worst. He was apparently the worst of them all.
Yeah, he thought he was God's gift. My dad always said he was God's gift. Like he thought he was God's gift to quarterbacking, and then he was just awful.
He was so bad.
So yeah, I don't know. It's nice. It's the idea of having 2 first-round picks, which we have this year, is nice.
We're gonna just ruin those.
What are we gonna do with them?
Those don't matter. Those don't matter at all.
Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to like. Oh, we could possibly have number 1 and number 2, which would be amazing. And then if for any other team,
it'd be hilarious.
That would be amazing. But for us, it's just like, oh God, how are we gonna fuck it up this time?
We're gonna ruin 2 promising young men's lives.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do.
We could have the next fucking Mahomes and the next fucking TJ Watt, fucking Aaron Donald coming out of the draft, and they're gonna be fucking our equivalent of fucking Mike Glennon and fucking Travis Gibson or something. You know what I mean? Like just 2 guys who fucking don't matter. Travis Gibson, nice rotational player, I guess. We could pick somebody else who fucking sucks, but yeah, defensive lineman that we've had. There's a fucking lot of them. But
Name any guy on their current defensive line.
Yannick Ngakoue.
You can name fucking Ngakoue. He
Yeah.
sucks on the
Yeah.
Bears. He's terrible.
Yeah.
They
You know,
all
we could have
suck.
had Justin Houston, but Justin Houston's 34 years old and
He
would
would
probably
have here anyway. It doesn't matter, man.
no, it doesn't matter.
You can change all the names; they'll all suck.
No, dude, you could fucking put. I saw a picture, and this is going back to our previous conversation about all the dumb fucking Bears fans who were like, "Well, we could have had Mahomes," or anybody, not even Bears fans, but people who like to spread that narrative. I saw a picture where it was like Patrick Mahomes if he went to the Bears, and there's just a picture of Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
We are just a fucking developmental wasteland. There's only so many fucking different ways we can say it, but this is just a team that chews up young men and tells them that they're essentially what I've gathered from the 2 years that Flus and company have been in charge is that they just get these promising young players, and their philosophy, this hits principle, is just telling them that they're shit.
Yeah.
And that they don't matter.
You stink.
You're terrible.
Play
and
hard. And
all that cool stuff that you do doesn't matter. You know, you should just fucking stop being cool.
Be a loser like us.
Yeah. You know, some fucking guy you never heard of until he was a 54-year-old fucking first-time head coach and went 3-14. Maybe he's just a bad coach. You know, maybe they weren't tanking. Maybe he's also just a bad. They definitely were tanking, but I don't even think that tanking roster.
After a while they were, but it wasn't initially designed to be a tank. They turned it into a tank like midway through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I'm really looking forward to, you know, first of all, I just don't understand. There is going to be some sort of tank ball greatest game coverage by urinating tree on us this season.
Yeah, by next week.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised.
Next week will be a greatest game. We're playing the Broncos. You think next week isn't a greatest game?
That's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be awesome.
It's the greatest game,
dude. I can't wait for the collective aneurysm that Flus and Payton both have coaching against each other that game. If Flus makes it, I don't know if Flus makes it. I know we've never fired a coach,
dude.
Mid-season.
Who's going to replace him? We have no one.
No, I mean Alan Williams is going to go to prison, so there's one option.
Prison. Luke Getsy should be going to prison.
Yeah, for his crimes against football.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, man, this is sad. I bought a fucking 2018 NFC North Division champion shirt from Goodwill.
That's just such a sad purchase. That's
it was $5, and I was so excited about it, and I wore it the first game.
Oh my god, why?
I think I would have honestly done
put a hex on this
better.
team.
Yeah, I know. It would have been a better purchase to just get a coffee from Dunkin' and just shit in my toilet, you know, like
if you just threw the money away, if you just lit it on fire,
you just Joker
if you
style,
your ass with it, if you slapped the woman working at the Goodwill with it, and then went to fucking prison, that would have been a better goddamn decision.
That would have been a better use of my time because now I'm stuck watching this team every Sunday.
You'd at least get 3 meals a day in county for that shit. I mean, fuck me, what a disaster.
Yeah, it's cool that this hollowed franchise just insists on being terrible. You know, they just don't. I don't understand how you get to 2023 and not know how to hire people that can at least make your team somewhat competitive and entertaining. You know, you're just stuck in this weird fucking 1950s style. You know, you're hoping the 1985 happens, which 1985 is a fucking fluke too. I know they had some competitive years, but it's just never happening because that was really, that was like the last era where you could get away with having a so-so quarterback and a so-so offense,
you could murder quarterbacks. You were allowed to murder them.
Yeah, no, you could fucking.
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Richard Dent was legally allowed to take a shotgun on the field and just shoot fucking quarterbacks in the face.
Yeah.
You know, he shot Dan Marino in the face, and that's why we lost because we got a penalty. But just kidding. That's why that team went 15-1 because he got arrested. You know, or he did. I don't know. Whatever. It's just fucking horrible to be a Bears fan, dude.
It's over.
It's over.
That's all there is to say.
Until next week, you know, when they fly, I can't wait.
Find another way to stoop lower.
I can't wait for whatever. I can't wait for the important coaching decisions and is there a way we're gonna get into picks pretty soon here. Is there a way to pick the Meteor in that game?
Yeah, please, yeah, might as well. Let's get these fucking picks over because I can't keep doing it. There's nothing left to say about this team.
No,
Let's wrap it up. No one's made it this far in anyway. Fuck it.
No, I do want to ask you though, just to like lighten the mood a little bit and talk about other things that matter. What has been the biggest surprise to you so far about the NFL season? What has been the most, like, the best, encouraging sign or biggest surprise? Like, is there? For me, it's the Dolphins. I've been very pleasantly surprised by their success.
I mean, I haven't been paying that close attention because I was in New Zealand and actually enjoying my life. I come back to pain, but I had a nice week and like a half to enjoy myself.
You forgot about the Bears.
Yeah, where I was truly serene. But anywho, yeah, I've been enjoying the Dolphins. I thought they'd be decent, but I do worry about Tua. But yeah, I'm kind of bandwagoning the Dolphins this year as a Florida resident.
Yeah,
might as well. I mean, the Bucks they started out pretty decently. But
they're 2-0.
I don't really care about the Bucks that much. I like Tom Brady, but
now
he's gone. I don't care about Baker. Sorry, but yeah, I've enjoyed the Dolphins.
I still like Mike Evans a lot. He's cool.
Yeah, Mike Evans is a great player. He's one of he's such a Hall of Famer, but no one cares about him.
It's because he's been in Tampa his whole career, and they've only mattered 2 or 3 years since he's been there. So he had a huge game last week, which we don't need to talk about that again. But
of course,
it's been fun.
Doesn't count against the Bears.
No, it doesn't exist. The Bears can't hurt you, but the Tua balls out as long as he's healthy. I really like Tua, and I've always liked him.
I do too.
That 2020 draft is pretty fucking nuts for quarterbacks, dude.
Insanely stacked.
You got Herbert, Burrow, and Tua. And was there anybody else?
Jalen Hurts. and fucking Jordan Love. Looked okay, but like Jordan Love cannot complete more than 50% of his passes, but they managed to win. Like I don't. It just because the Packers are a good organization, they win.
Yeah.
Even though Jordan Love is not that good.
It's easy to win when you injure the other team's quarterback.
He's an okay quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's putting up insane numbers. His completion percentage sucks. Aside from that, all his other numbers are good.
Yeah. It helps when, the first team you face is the Bears and they consistently enjoy blowing coverage.
You're able to stat pad effortlessly. When you complete 47% of your passes, you can still throw for like 265 yards. 3 touchdowns.
Today they were losing 17-0 at half, and
I know, and
had to resort to injuring.
Choked hilarious.
Well, they had to resort to injuring Derek Carr. Yeah. Fucking I texted my friend who's a Packers fan. I was like, yeah, dude, it helps when your team injures the other quarterback. I really, all I can say is I hope he doesn't go to prison because he should, but what fucking hurt him. But yeah, Jordan Love was 22 of 44 today. So fucking great game, Jordan Love. Real good job.
50% of his passes.
Fucking the Bears' daddy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And he threw for like 300 yards.
He's gonna be a fucking Hall of Famer. Like that's what's gonna fucking happen. We're giving him shit. This dude's gonna throw for 50 fucking touchdowns this year and win the Super Bowl. And and I are
gonna be like he's gonna be like Brett Favre, where he'll throw interceptions and his completion percentage will be shit.
Yeah.
But like he's on the Packers, so he'll win.
Yeah.
He'll win 1 Super Bowl, then he'll be there for 10 years and do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he'll get them. I don't want to say nothing. He'll get them to the playoffs. They'll choke hilariously. It'll just be the Packers again.
Yeah.
They win a Super Bowl every 15 years. That guy plays there for 15 years. He goes somewhere else.
He goes to prison.
To the Jets.
He goes to prison.
Like it's just gonna keep happening over and over again.
Yeah, it's the cycle of life. It's just we're living in purgatory as Bears fans.
We are. I'm not even mad. That's the thing. Is like I was watching Jordan Love and I was not upset. I'm like, yeah, good for them. Good for them.
No, you
whatever.
You become numb.
I just don't care.
Yeah, you just become.
They can't hurt me. They really can't hurt me anymore.
Man, I can't believe the Sunday night game after watching this bullshit today is fucking Steelers Raiders. Like it's just too sad. At least one sadder franchise,
Dude, I don't think I want to watch that shit.
No, I think I'm gonna play Hitman or something.
I might do that too.
I love Hitman. You told me to play it a long time ago, and I finally
Yeah, you started playing it.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I had Hitman 2. I had it. It was part of the PlayStation Plus.
They gave it away for free, but like
Yeah,
they didn't fully give it away. It's like you
yeah.
got like one mission or something.
You get the main missions of Hitman 2 and like one sniper assassin, but you have to like pay everything or
Oh,
pay for
okay,
everything else.
yeah,
I went out and I got Hitman 3 because Hitman
yeah.
3
You get all of them with
you get
Hitman
all of
3.
them. Yeah.
That's what I have. Yeah,
You have to upgrade to the rest of the missions, which I will do at some point.
there's some that are hidden.
I'm like kind of just waiting until Spider-Man 2 comes out, because that's gonna be awesome. But it's really fun, dude. It's really cool.
Sweet
Like
game.
it's fun. It's fun. Like every mission is kind of its own open world. Now we're getting a completely different game than football,
I
but
know.
it's every game is a different open world
Environment. Yes.
environment. Like there's a million ways to kind of go
They're all
about
beautifully
the mission.
detailed. The
Yeah,
outfits are cool. I
yeah.
really like the Chongqing one where it's raining and he's got the
Mhm.
sweet that like awesome coat on.
Is that Hitman
It
3?
just looks so cool. All the lighting is awesome. It's in
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
that
sweet
one.
mission.
Yeah, I played through 3 because I finished 2, so I went on to the next one, and then now I'm going back to Hitman 1.
Yeah, I played Hitman 2 first, then I played Hitman 1, then I played Hitman 3.
Yeah,
That was the order I played them in.
I just wanted to go into 3 because I think 3 was the first one that came out on the PS5 question mark.
It
I
might
think it
be,
came out on
yeah.
PS4 too, but yeah,
They
it's
also
really
have
fun.
this other mode that's a harder difficulty called Freelancer,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, I
really
saw that.
fun.
That's like online, right?
It's not online. It's you go back into the same environments from the game, but you have
Hmm.
updated like objectives and they're harder and you get I think one save.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
you
Yeah.
bring your environment in and if you die or like you lose that shit that you brought with you.
Hmm.
So
I
you can
gotta.
like, oh, I can take this gun and then you have this big like awesome room and you can unlock other rooms and your facility and it's pretty cool.
Hmm. I gotta look into that because I was I'm just playing the story right now, and I was messing around.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at that sniper assassin mission. I kind of just go
Oh
in.
yeah. It's
It's
hard, but
it's
you
hard.
can figure it out after a minute.
Yeah, I've just
I
been going
got
in
it.
there
Yeah.
fucking around, but it's fun. So I might play that after this. Maybe just have the game on my iPad or something. Just listen to it. Listen to Chris Collinsworth go. Now here's a guy in Jimmy
Nah, here's
G.
a guy. I
He's a
know.
good
Yeah.
looking fella. You might want to go down there and make out with him, but he's a quarterback too.
You know, he even let me suck his dick before the game. It was nice.
He somehow
He said,
doesn't
"Stop
even.
looking at me, queer.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me."
he 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 can get hard without Viagra, which is hard to do at my age. So that's mighty impressive. He just becomes more and more like a
God.
cowboy. He's from fucking Ohio. Like he still
I
lives.
know. What the fuck's
You
with his
know,
accent? It's
I don't
insane.
know.
He played in
It's
Cincinnati.
dude. There are parts of the Midwest where they sound like you and I, where we
I know.
don't really say our T's and we sound like Canadians. And then there's parts of the Midwest that are country as fuck because all they do is work on the corn all day. So
Yeah.
I think he's like a mixture of that because
They
he's
get a
from
draw from just
Cincinnati.
having that little piece of corn hanging out of their mouth, the
Yeah,
little stem
which
thing.
I
It
like
gives them a
Collinsworth.
drawl.
I like
I do too.
Collinsworth.
He's fun to listen to because
He's fun to listen to,
he's
but
so
his
goofy.
some of his footballisms are just a little much for me. Like he was on Mina
And it's
Kimes.
so sexual in
Yeah,
nature a lot of the
yeah,
times. He
yeah.
leans into the
He and
innuendos.
Aikman both do that, but I think
They love it.
Aikman does it more by accident because I think he said something about a
Buck
guy.
does it
He
intentionally.
comes hard. Well, Buck is smart. Yeah, Buck fucking
After being a prude about Randy Moss for no
yeah,
reason. It was one of the most insane moments. Like, what is wrong
yeah.
with you, bro? You're a
Have
grown
you
man being upset over this?
Yeah. Have you come around on Buck since he's been on Monday Night Football, or you still
No,
hate
I
him?
don't like him. I still don't like him
I
at all.
love him, dude. I there's something about
I
his voice.
hate Joe Buck. You're a baseball guy though, so
Yeah, and
I imagine that affects it.
my earliest sports casting memory is him calling Canary's Grand Slam in the '05 World Series. Going back, he calls it very dry, but I just like his voice a lot. You have to admit his voice is pretty good. He's got a pretty sick voice.
He has a deep voice, but I
Yeah.
don't. That doesn't mean I like it. I mean, I hate my own voice, rightfully so. It's horrible, but you know, I'm not a fan of Joe Buck. It's fun to hate on Joe Buck. It's trendy. It's like hating on Nickelback,
Yeah. It's
or
just
Imagine Dragons. Everyone likes to hate on them, and so
mhm.
do I.
Yeah, I can't really blame you, but you know, he is he and Aikman have I think been together longer than Summerall and Madden, which is kind of insane. So
That's a
they're
disturbing thought.
a
Oh
little bit.
God.
All right. So with that said, let's get
Let's get these picks
into
over with.
and then we can kind of wrap up the show. I want to talk
I can
about
commit
our
seppuku.
yeah. So our picks
Japanese ritual disembowelment.
the games
Ugh.
that we have picked for last week are already or for this week are already done. So I can talk about our complete results. So week 1, I went 2-3 and you went 1-4. Your only right pick was the Dolphins.
Sick.
Week 2, I picked the Cowboys and the Chiefs, and then Nick, who picked for you, picked the Chiefs. So you went with same records, 2-3, 1-4 there. And then this week, I went 0-5. Didn't pick a single right one. And then Jake Pearson, who picked for you, picked the Packers, Dolphins, and the Chiefs. So he went 3-2. So currently, I'm 4-11 on the season, and you were 5-10. So, and you haven't even been here for 2 weeks. So
I know, not great. You're being outperformed by a guy that isn't here.
Yeah, who's would rather be in New
Who
Zealand.
was having a better time out of the country.
Yeah,
as far away as I could possibly get from here.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I need to go. I need to go to the ends of the earth
Mm-hmm.
to find my peace. Truly. And I did. I was more peaceful there than I've been in years.
Yeah, it's
just turns out I have to go to the absolute farthest corner of our world to find peace.
All right. With that said, as I'm jealous here, sitting here jealous of your
dude, it was beautiful. You gotta go if you get a chance. I will live there at some point. I truly will.
Dude, I'll come visit you. With that said, first pick of the week, Lions Packers on Thursday Night Football.
Oh man, this is a tough one. I think this will be a good game, actually. Lions Packers. It should be close.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick the Packers, unfortunately. I want the Lions to win, obviously. I'm rooting for Dan Campbell this year. I really am. I hope the Lions win the division, go to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll pick the Packers, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go with the Lions just to I don't know. I
have a different pick. You gotta close the gap somehow. You know?
Yeah, and you and I and the people who have picked for you have mostly been pretty chalk outside of a few picks here and there. The guy. So the week 2 was Cowboys Jets. Nick picked the Jets. I picked the Cowboys, and we picked it the night before Aaron Rodgers went down. So instantly, I knew I was
that was
get
bad.
That.
My MVP pick's hilariously bad.
Yeah,
oh my god, so bad.
I will go with the Lions. I think their offense is pretty good. Their defense is kind of horseshit.
Not good, but improving. Aiden Hutchinson's good.
Aiden Hutchinson's good. The Lions offense was really good today. Short week.
Win?
I believe so. They beat the Falcons.
They beat the crap out of the Falcons,
yeah. So I think, and the Packers, even though it was their home opener and they had won 10 straight, they struggled today, and it's a short week. So I'm gonna go with the Lions.
Fair enough. I hope you're right.
Dolphins, Bills.
Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins. I don't even know where they're playing, but it's warm, so the Dolphins are taking it.
It'll
be warm regardless. Yeah. Well,
Buffalo,
that's a good time to play Buffalo. That's a great time to play Buffalo. Now, when they're not in the cold. So, yeah, they're going to win.
I really want to go with the Dolphins. The Bills, but I think I'm going to go with the Dolphins just because I think I said this in the beginning of the season. I don't want to pick Tua until I know he's healthy. Or he's not going to get hurt. And now saying this, he will, but I don't think it's smart to pick against Tua right now. They scored 70 fucking points today. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
That means they're probably going to suck next week. They'll get shut out. But of course, I'm going to pick fucking Tua.
Yeah. I mean, again, we are not experts. Do not listen to our picks if you're betting.
We suck. We're stupid. Everything we've said on this podcast is alleged, by the way. Everything we've said is alleged.
Our lawyer will be contacting you shortly.
Full disclaimer.
Yeah.
Alleged.
Yeah, so we're both going with the Dolphins there. Just an unbeatable offense right now. But this one is kind of the week. The slate is just not very good this week again. But Pats Cowboys
all the games have not been that great. Pats Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have a bounce back game, I guess. I want the Patriots to win, but I'll say the Cowboys will have a bounce back
Mhm.
game. Where is it? Is it in Dallas or is it in
Yes.
Gillette?
Yeah.
It's in
It should be.
Dallas. Okay.
The Pats have already played,
All
I
right.
think, 2 games at home.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with I mean, they beat the Jets today, which is hilarious. They own the only team that gets owned more regularly by their mortal enemy than the Bears is the Jets.
Yeah. They
God.
said something, it's been over 2,000 days since the Jets have beat the Pats. Which
15
is
straight games, I think.
which is what,
It's been
7
5
seasons?
years for us.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years,
Yeah.
but
It's
not great.
God. All right. I'm gonna go with the Pats. Just do another differentiator pick of for you, or of your pick. Their defense is still really good, so there is a chance
It is
the
good.
Cardinals just beat the Cowboys today, so there is a
That is
chance
true. They're
that
reeling.
they make things
They are
hard
reeling.
on Prescott. So I'm gonna go with the Pats. So I also just feel like the Pats own the Cowboys. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to support it, but I just don't feel like the Cowboys ever beat the Pats.
No, they generally don't.
Yeah. So, all right, Raiders Chargers. Again, the slate is not very good, so at least the divisional matchup is fun.
Oh God, Raiders Chargers. You're really putting me in a bind here.
Hmm.
I guess I'll take the fucking Chargers.
Okay.
I don't like that at all, but I'll take
Hmm.
the Chargers. I think Josh McDaniels is slightly more of an idiot than Brandon Staley, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough, man.
I definitely don't think the
This is
Raiders are
a
good,
hard one.
even with the handsome Jimmy G on the side, on
I
the
know.
quarterback.
Even his fucking beaming smile can't will that team to a victory.
Yeah, so I'm going Chargers too, and then we made it to our last pick of the week. Broncos Bears. This might be one of the last weeks I have them as a game to pick, just because it's so fucking awful to be a Bears fan and to ever pick them to do anything. But I do think this is a very fun game, just because there is a chance that the NFL just decides to drop a nuke on this game.
This is the greatest game. This is
Yeah,
the greatest game. This is a
yeah,
tank ball.
circle it.
It's
I don't even know if the Broncos have a pick this
I'm
year.
picking the Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick the Broncos too, even though somehow this is gonna be the week that like Justin Fields looks like an MVP because we're picking against
sure.
him.
It'll be great. Sure.
So
If that's what it takes, I'll pick against him every week. I don't care.
yeah.
Just we're gonna suck.
Yeah, so those are our picks. I picked the Broncos too, but those are our picks for week 4. I had the Lions, Dolphins, Pats, Chargers, and Broncos. Jake had the Packers, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chargers, and the Broncos. Another awful week to be a Bears fan. Another good week to be a fan of any other team ever in the history of the NFL. Can't get much worse than this. I said last week, and it got much worse. So I'm not going to even be that hopeful. That's even a layer of level of optimism that I can't reach. So we're going to end it here before me and Jake have heart attacks, I think. So, and I mean, honestly, it's insane that we both even fucking picked the Broncos. Like, that's a good pick anyways. But
No.
thank you for listening. The Bears dropped to 0-3, losing 41-10 against the Chiefs. Bears could have had Mahomes.
Will we win a game
We're
this
gonna
year?
hear that a lot. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Doesn't feel good.
That's a good question. Do you think we're gonna go 0-17?
That's our question.
We might go
It's
0-17.
tough, man. It might happen.
I think Jeff
It could.
Joniak or Tom Thayer or somebody, one of the broadcast guys today, they said. Also, I was going to say this earlier too. We were talking about this about being a Bears fan. There's an ad. It's a Miller Lite ad that starts off. You were born one of the lucky ones. You were born a Bears fan. Fuck off. Fuck yourself. No, I'm not lucky. Yeah, I'm not lucky. But they were saying that this week starts the stretch of facing 15 straight Pro Bowl quarterbacks or former Pro Bowl quarterbacks. So this is going to be a long season, essentially.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, so we might go. We would be the first to go in 17, right?
Yeah, it's not happened yet.
Since that happened, it's only been 2 or 3 years.
Only been 0-16. No one's gone 0-17.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars, I think, went did they go 1-16?
Something like that. I think they won.
They might have.
the year after they drafted Lawrence, who was he 20? Yeah, he's 21.
They won 3 games that year. They won 3
Okay.
games.
No, that might have been the year that they won. They won the first game against the Colts, and they tweeted out not done, and then they didn't win a game the rest of the season.
Oh God.
That feels like a Bears tweet right away. Even though we're not going to even win a game.
Well, the fucking Jaguars got walloped today as well.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to win the division.
I know. It's going to be the Titans again.
Yeah, which is honestly, I wanted to go with them, but they're kind of a boring pick, even though the Jaguars won last year, so you could say that's the boring pick. But hey, man, there's other teams to watch. I still love watching football, even though it causes me nothing but pain.
They have killed my love for the game. They have killed my love for the game. I just watch people fight now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good format, or at least a good idea to have like one game that you and I both watch, and then we can talk pretty in depth. But like this is definitely, as the season goes along, this will definitely become more general NFL stuff.
Oh yeah, it's got.
I mean, it already kind of has been. But yeah, man, I hope we go for 0-17 because that means people are going to get fired probably. That means they might think about selling the team, which would be great. And it would also make it easier to not care next year. So with that said, I'm gonna take a deep breath. I can hear Jake taking a deep breath too. Thank you so much for listening to podcast 46 as the Bears lose again. We'll just see what happens. Honestly, I said it can't get much worse. It has. It's going to be funny to see how much worse it gets, because it will get worse. Somehow we're going to find out.
We have not found the bottom yet.
No, there's going to be like a dog fighting ring we find out about that is happening in George Halas's office, or George McCaskey's office or something. So it's going to be really cool to find out that, everybody on this team is somehow a part of the fucking cartel or some bullshit like that. So with that said, I'm trying to end this fucking episode 40 times already. But thank you so much for listening. Follow us on our socials. I'm not going to list them all here. Just go into the fucking links if you care that much. See you next week. Fuck the Bears. Fuck the NFL, and have a safe week.
Life.
Fuck my life. Stay safe, have fun, and try to relax from this bullshit.